Hey guys, so like a year and a bit, maybe closer to 2 years ago now, Qantas started offering direct flights from Perth, Australia to London, England/UK, which is a pretty big deal because we've never been able to fly directly from Australia all the way to Europe/the UK before. We normally have to stop off somewhere like Singapore or Dubai, Abu Dhabi, somewhere along the way to refuel/swap planes. But Qantas has these quite fancy new planes called Dreamliners, which are somehow able to make that journey, I think because they're more energy efficient. I'm just going to note now that I'm not an aerospace engineer or any sort of engineer or anyone who really has much of an idea about how planes really work. So all the language I'm going to use in this video is going to be relative to my understanding, which is to say, pretty basic. Anyway, let's chat a bit more about how this flight works. So essentially it takes 17 hours to get from London to Perth on average, and then another 3.5 around about hours to get to Melbourne. Because for those of you who don't know, Perth is all the way on one side of Australia and Melbourne is all the way on the other side, and it's a bit too far to go straight from London to Melbourne, at least for now. However, if you do live in Melbourne or Sydney, or you want to travel to Melbourne or Sydney from London, you can still get the same plane, it just has a transfer through Perth. So you stop off in Perth, they refuel, and then you get back on the same plane for the last little leg of the journey. Easy, comfortable, you don't keep your same seat necessarily though, funnily enough. Now the Qantas Dreamliners offer 3 different classes of travel. You've got business class, premium economy, and economy. There is no first class on this flight, though as I understand it, the business class is quite fancy anyway, so who needs first when you got business? I don't know, I fly economy, so we're just gonna be chatting about boring, plain old economy and the premium economy and the business. We're just gonna forget about those. So for most long-haul economy flights, you probably have 3 seats to one side, 4 seats in the middle, and then 3 seats on the other side. That 3-4-3 configuration. The Qantas Dreamliner, however, has 3-3-3, which makes it a bit easier for you to escape if you're stuck in the middle. More space! These planes have a total of 236 passenger seats, whereas most other flights will have around about 300. You also have an inch, or about 2.5 centimeters more leg room between yourself and the seat in front of you, which may not sound like a big deal, but on a 17-hour flight, it's noticeable. Also, say goodbye to those boring old window shades, because these planes are fitted with electronic dimming in their windows. So if you don't like the full force of sun reflecting off clouds and hitting you on their face, but you also don't want to have complete darkness, you can dim the window to something in the middle. The windows are also about 65% larger than what they would be on similar flights. Qantas has put a lot of effort into almost every aspect when they were designing this plane. They've done a lot of research into reducing jet lag. So as soon as you get on the plane, they adjust to destination time. That means that they're giving you your meals, dimming the lights, doing sleep time in accordance with the time at the destination. So for me, as soon as we got on the plane at London, it was then Australia-Perth time. And that means that you have the entire flight to adjust more into the time zone in the country that you are going to. For me, I don't usually get bad jet lag. It's always been very, very mild, but for some people it really hits them hard, and I think this will be a very useful thing for them. I don't know exactly what sort of impact this next one has on people, but the air pressure within the cabin is around about 6,000 feet equivalent, whereas in most other aircrafts it would be around 8,000, so it's more similar to conditions that you will get further down. Alright guys, I reckon that's enough of a prelude. Let's get to the footage that I didn't lose.
Check-in time. Almost forgot to check in.
Jede neue Frühling kommt aus ein anderer Frühlings zu Ende. I'm going to give you something to remember me by always, Jay.
You've already given me Vegemite.
It's Qantas, mate. Have you flown Qantas before?
Are you going to Australia?
No line.
Oh yeah, that's sweet, sweet economy. Okay, so this better be the nicest economy I ever fly in. So check-in was super efficient, did it in 3 seconds, and now we're having one last prep. And then we're going to go through airport security and go on a 17-hour flight. Gate 5. Somebody online said that if you fly the plane, you can go to one of the lounges, but I don't think that's correct. Everyone's sitting in the gate area, but I feel like we're about to be sitting for 17 hours. So I'm gonna stay on my feet for a little bit longer, even though this bag is really bloody heavy. Also, the lovely Qantas man didn't charge me extra for going 2 kilos over my weight limit, but I'm moving 2 years worth of life, so. Anyway, I found a piano. I don't remember how to play it properly. This airport seems really relaxed this morning. Everything was very efficient. Security was quick, check-in was quick, baggage drop was quick, everything was quick. And my train here was expensive, but quick. So, can't complain. All right, I'm gonna head to the check-in gate. So when I get onto the plane, I'm gonna show you guys the entertainment system, the little features around the seat and stuff, show you the food, anything that's fancy, anything that catches my eye. See you in there.
Let's start off with the freebies. You get the classic aeroplane headphones. You get a bag which contains an eye mask and some earplugs, which I immediately lost forever, as well as a toothbrush and toothpaste, so no need to bring your own. Quite a nice pillow, which you can apparently slip over the back of your headrest to keep it in place. Didn't realise that at the time. And finally, a blanket, which was also not terrible. The seats have these adjustable headrests, which you can slide up and down quite easily, and when you push the sides in, they're actually strong enough to hold your head in place. Crazy! The seat pockets were similar to most other seat pockets that you'll get on most planes. These ones had smaller mesh pockets at the front as well, perfect for your water bottle or anything else you'd like easy access to, such as your headphones. And the main pocket was large enough to fit my Nintendo Switch very comfortably. Now this is probably my favourite part of the seat. It's a pull-down cradle for a tablet or gaming device like a Switch, for example, as well as a general storage area with a USB charge point so you can keep your devices charged while you use them.
I thought that there was plenty of legroom for an economy flight, and you really appreciate that extra inch of space after 17 hours in the air. There's also this sort of mesh foot hammock, which is a bit weird at first, but it's much more comfortable than the traditional metal bars you'd rest your feet on in most flights. It's quite bouncy and it takes pressure off your feet. When you're done, it tucks away very neatly and hardly takes up any space.
They didn't have quite as much in-flight entertainment as what a lot of other airlines do. However, they did have a really good range of TV shows and movies overall. Plus, it's the largest and clearest screen that I've ever had on an economy flight, which makes it worth it in my opinion, even if sometimes the screen's a bit non-responsive. Aside from watching movies and TV shows, you can also use this screen to play certain games. You can look at the overview map and track the progress of the flight. You should technically be able to look at the menu, but it wasn't available on my flight. You can call for assistance, and you can adjust the brightness of your overhead reading light, as well as the mood light, which at the time I thought was broken, but turns out is the light inside your little USB charge area. The available menu was really, really nice for an airplane. I choose to eat vegan food whenever I'm flying, ever since I got food poisoning on a flight to Germany once. It was a bad time, to say the least. There was also a really good selection of drinks, and the staff would come around pretty regularly to ask if anyone wanted anything. I was really impressed with all the vegan meals and even the desserts that they provided with them. I found the meals were quite nutritious overall, at least they seemed to be that way. Pretty sure the croissant they gave me there was actually not vegan, but never mind. Really good selection of food overall. The self-serve snack fridge toward the back of the plane was a really good addition. There was always some sort of food in there and they varied it throughout the flight. One poor flight attendant accidentally dropped tomato juice everywhere, but then they offered me free dry cleaning and free business class pajamas, so I wasn't going to complain. The bathroom is, well, a bathroom, so this is what it looked like, but everything was quite new and clean. And when we got to Perth, there was a designated transfer lounge waiting for us. Overall, I had a really positive experience with this flight. It is definitely the most comfortable economy flight I have ever been on. The food is the best quality that I've had on a flight. There was definitely enough of it. Small little details like the fridge out the back that you could just help yourself to snacks. Just knowing that you can go and grab a pack of hummus and carrot sticks without having to like buzz an attendant to get you some food. It's just a nice little touch. And obviously because the planes are still quite new, everything just feels more fresh. It hasn't been used thousands and thousands of times before. You just feel better on the plane. The air when I was in there doesn't seem so stale as a lot of other flights. It seems quite fresh still. And although it wasn't the biggest selection in terms of entertainment, the shows and movies that they did have were really good quality and the screen was large enough that you could really enjoy it. Plus the little fold down area underneath the screen was super useful. I just put my Switch in there, did some running around and exploring in Zelda Breath of the Wild while I watched Westworld. Super useful. Now, a lot of people that I spoke to about this heard 17-hour flight and immediately just disregarded it, pushed it to the side. They were like, I am never doing that. But I found that by the time I got to Perth, the 17-hour flight for me really felt no longer than what a 14-hour flight did. And then at the end of it, I just had another 3.5 hours and then I was back home. Also, the crossover was super efficient. They had a specific lounge area that you could just sit in for an hour and a half and then get on your next plane. We weren't running around an airport in a foreign country trying to figure out where your gate is. I broke down my flight into roughly 5 hours, 7 hours, and 5 hours. So I spent the first 5 hours watching the first half of Westworld Season 2, then I had a nap for about 7 hours, just a casual 7-hour nap, and then I spent my last 5 hours watching the second part of Westworld Season 2. So for me, it worked out extremely well, and I felt really rested at the end of it, much more so than what I do on regular flights, where I don't normally sleep at all. So that probably says something else about the seat comfort on this plane. So there you have it. I believe I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. If you have any questions, please do link them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, click on my face to subscribe to me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.